Hey, welcome. So get this, the European Union is building what you could call a massive digital fortress, and it's going to change the technology you and I use every single day. We're talking about two huge new laws that are set to create a new global standard for security. And look, whether you're just buying tech or you're actually creating it, you're going to want to know about them. So let's break it down.
Let me ask you a question, and it's one we probably don't think about nearly enough. Is your smart fridge secure? Seriously, what about your TV? Or that little camera in your living room? Or even the connected toys you bought for your kids? I mean, these gadgets make our lives way easier, but every single one of them is a potential doorway for a cyber attack.
Because the reality is, the more connected our world gets, the threats just grow and grow. We're talking about everything from someone stealing your personal data all the way up to huge attacks on critical infrastructure. So the European Union has basically decided it's time to stop just reacting and start building a real digital fortress. And this is the story of how they're doing it.
To really get what the EU is up to, you have to see the modern world for what it is. It's basically a new kind of digital battlefield. Every device that's connected, every piece of software you use, it's all part of this landscape. And on this battlefield, the EU isn't just playing defense anymore. Nope, it's rolling out a really powerful two-part strategy, a mighty shield and a very swift sword.
Okay, first up, let's talk about that first line of defense, the shield. This is all about being proactive. Instead of just waiting around for attacks to happen, the whole idea is to make sure our digital products are secure by design, long before they even get to us. And this shield, it has a name, the Cyber Resilience Act.
So what exactly is this Cyber Resilience Act, or the CRA? Well, to put it simply, it's a totally game-changing law. It makes cybersecurity a mandatory, non-negotiable requirement for any digital products sold in the EU. Security is no longer an optional extra you pay for. It means manufacturers have to think about vulnerabilities from the very first line of code, not as an afterthought. And they have to promise to support that product with security updates for its entire expected life.
And listen, this isn't some idea for the distant future. The wheels are already turning, fast. It was passed by the EU Council back in October 2024, and it's set to become actual law by the end of this year. This gives businesses a very clear deadline. Full compliance is absolutely mandatory by late 2027. The clock is officially ticking.
This new act completely rewrites the rules for manufacturers. To sell a product in the EU, they now have to go on this strict compliance journey. It starts with secure design from the ground up, then moves through really tough security testing, and it ends with a formal declaration that yes, their product is safe. Only then, after all that, can they put that little CE mark on it, which is basically becoming a new symbol of digital safety for all of us consumers.
So who does this actually affect? Well, the scope here is massive. We're talking about pretty much every single product that connects to a network, directly or indirectly. Your cameras, your smart fridge, your TV, even your kids' toys. If it connects, it's covered. Really, the only exceptions are things like cars or medical devices, which, to be fair, already have their own super strict security rules.
Okay, having a strong shield is absolutely crucial. But let's be realistic for a second. No defense is ever perfect, right? So the big question is, what happens when an attack actually breaks through? What happens when prevention just isn't enough? Well, that's where the second part of the EU strategy comes into play.
And now for that second part, the sword. If the shield is all about prevention, the sword is all about a fast, active response. The EU is building a cyber reserve force, basically a team designed to fight back when a major crisis hits and to help its members get back on their feet. And they're putting some serious money behind this. The EU has set aside 36 million euros just to get this reserve up and running over the next 3 years. This isn't just some idea on a piece of paper. It's a really well-funded, strategic investment in their collective security. So what is this EU Cybersecurity Reserve? Think of it like a team of elite cybersecurity firefighters on call 24/7. It's a group of pre-vetted, highly trusted experts from private companies, and they're managed by ENISA, the EU's own cybersecurity agency. So when a member state or an EU institution gets hit with a massive cyber attack, they can call in this reserve for immediate help. Now, what does this team actually do? Well, their main job is emergency response, jumping in to contain an attack and then helping with recovery, forensics, getting systems back online. But they also have a proactive role, which is really interesting. In peacetime, these expert teams can be called in to run drills and help strengthen defenses across member states. It's all about making sure everyone is ready before a crisis hits.
So let's just put it all together for a second. On one side, you've got the SHIELD. That's the Cyber Resilience Act. It's focused on prevention, securing every single product before it gets to you. And on the other side, you've got the SWORD, the Cyber Reserve, ready to respond and help recover when a major attack gets through. It's a really complete approach to securing the whole digital world.
All right, so with all these new rules, who's actually responsible for making it all happen? I mean, who is on the hook here? Well, the answer is pretty simple: the entire supply chain.
Yeah, the Cyber Resilience Act creates this really clear chain of responsibility. Manufacturers, they're on the front line. They have to design and build secure products, period. But it doesn't stop with them. Importers who bring products into the EU are now legally required to check that they meet these new standards. And even the distributors and stores have to make sure the products they sell have that proper CE mark. Everybody has a role to play here.
Now, you might be sitting there thinking, okay, but this is just a European thing, right? But the reality is, these laws are going to create a huge global ripple effect. The EU is one of the biggest markets in the world, and any company, anywhere on the planet that wants to sell their digital products there will have to play by these new rules.
For businesses all over the world, this is a major, major shift. And yes, there are new costs. They'll have to invest in secure development, more testing, new compliance processes. But the reward could be immense. Meeting these high standards is going to become a huge competitive advantage. It's like a stamp of quality that builds trust with customers and opens up that massive EU market. So what starts as an obligation, it really becomes an advantage.
This quote really just hits the nail on the head. It's not just about building secure products anymore. In the world we live in today, just like it says here, emergency response capability is a core competency, not just for nations, but for businesses too. And the EU is basically writing this idea directly into its laws and its operations. And that leaves us with one final and pretty crucial question. As the European Union builds this massive digital fortress, and as it sets a new global standard for cybersecurity, you have to ask, who's going to be able to meet these standards and be welcomed inside? And which companies, or maybe even which countries, will be left on the outside looking in? That's something we're all going to be watching very, very closely. Thanks for joining me.